Ever found yourself avoiding people more and more as you get older? Maybe you once enjoyed socializing, but now, the idea of spending time with certain people just feels exhausting. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we age, our priorities shift, our patience for nonsense grows thin, and we begin to see things with a clarity that only time and experience can provide. In this video, we're going to explore 7 key reasons why many people in their 70s and beyond start distancing themselves from others. And by the end, you might just realize that your instinct to be more selective about who you spend your time with is not only natural, but also beneficial for your peace of mind. Stay with me until the end, because understanding these 7 reasons will not only help you feel more at ease with your choices, but it might also give you a newfound appreciation for the wisdom that comes with age. Now let's get started. Number 1, you no longer tolerate superficial conversations. There was a time when small talk was just a part of life, something you did at work, at family gatherings, or with neighbors. But as the years go by, you start to realize how little these conversations actually matter. Talking about the weather, the latest gossip, or mindless chit-chat about things that don't affect your life, it all starts to feel like wasted energy. You've spent decades navigating real problems, facing hardships, and learning important lessons. At this stage in life, you crave meaningful conversations, ones that stimulate your mind and leave you feeling enriched rather than drained. You might have noticed that when you try to steer conversations towards something deeper, many people quickly lose interest. They'd rather talk about who did what, or what's trending on TV, than discuss topics that actually hold value. And so, instead of forcing yourself to sit through empty exchanges, you start choosing silence over noise. You spend more time alone, not because you're lonely, but because solitude is far more fulfilling than shallow social interactions. For example, take someone like Richard, a 73-year-old retired teacher. He used to be the life of the party, always ready for a good conversation. But now, when he's at a social gathering, he finds himself zoning out as people go on about celebrity news, or complaining about things that won't matter tomorrow. He'd rather sit at home with a good book, take a walk in nature, or have a meaningful conversation with someone who shares his interests. And honestly, can you blame him? As you get older, you realize that your time is valuable. You've earned the right to spend it in ways that bring you peace. And if that means walking away from conversations that serve no purpose, then so be it. Number 2, you've learned that not everyone deserves your energy. There was a time when you felt obligated to be polite, to entertain conversations, and to maintain relationships just for the sake of it. Maybe you felt like it was your duty to be there for others, even when they didn't reciprocate. But as you get older, you start to see things differently. You recognize that not everyone deserves your energy, and not every relationship is worth maintaining. Think about it. How many times have you given your time to people who take and take, but never give back? How many times have you listened to someone complain, supported them through their problems, only to realize that they never truly cared about you in the first place? When you were younger, you may have tolerated this behavior, but now you don't have the patience for it anymore. You've spent a lifetime learning that your peace is priceless, and you refuse to let anyone disturb it. Take Margaret, for example. She's 75 and used to be the person everyone called when they needed help. She'd drop everything to lend a hand, offer advice, or just be a listening ear. But when she needed support, those same people were nowhere to be found. One day she realized something. If a relationship drains you, more than it nourishes you, it's not worth keeping. Now she only surrounds herself with people who truly care, and she feels lighter and happier than ever. It's not about being bitter or angry, it's about knowing your worth. You've lived long enough to understand that not everyone deserves a place in your life. And the moment you stop giving your energy to the wrong people, you open up space for peace, for joy, and for relationships that truly matter. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Now let's move forward. Number 3, you've grown tired of superficial conversations. There was a time when you'd indulge in small talk, force a smile, and nod along to conversations that didn't really matter. You'd listen to gossip, entertain empty chatter, and pretend to be interested in topics that had no real depth. But as the years have passed, you've come to realize that your time is far too precious to be wasted on meaningless talk. You crave conversations that nourish your mind and soul. You want to talk about life, wisdom, and the things that truly matter. You're drawn to discussions that leave you thinking long after they've ended, rather than idle chatter that's forgotten the moment you walk away. It's not that you've become unfriendly, it's just that your tolerance for trivial conversations has faded. Take Robert, for example. At 73, he used to sit through long conversations filled with complaints, gossip, and small talk just to be polite. But one day he found himself wondering, why was he still doing this? Why was he wasting his time, listening to negativity and nonsense when he could be spending his time doing something that actually enriched his life? From that day forward, he stopped engaging in conversations that drained him and started seeking out people who shared his love for meaningful discussions. When you choose depth over superficiality, something shifts inside you. You start to attract people who think like you, who value the same things, and who leave you feeling enriched rather than exhausted. It's not about shutting people out. It's about choosing conversations that bring joy, wisdom, and purpose into your life. Number 4, you no longer tolerate one-sided relationships. There was a time when you would go out of your way to maintain relationships, even if you were the only one putting in the effort. You'd call first, make plans, and always be the one checking in. But after years of giving without receiving, you've come to a realization: you deserve relationships that are mutual. You've noticed that some people only reach out when they need something. They don't ask how you're doing or show genuine care. They only remember you when it's convenient for them. And frankly, you're done with that. Life is too short to chase people who don't value you. Take Helen, for instance. At 76, she had a habit of always being the one to initiate contact with old friends. She would call, send cards, and make an effort to stay connected. But one day she decided to stop. She wanted to see who would reach out to her if she didn't make the first move. And you know what? Silence. Days turned into weeks, then months, and not a single person called to check in. That was all she needed to know. When you stop investing in one-sided relationships, you make space for real, meaningful connections. You start surrounding yourself with people who genuinely care, who give as much as they receive. And that kind of relationship, that's worth holding on to. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, you've lost interest in superficial conversations. There was a time when you could sit through small talk, nodding politely as someone went on about the weather, celebrity gossip, or what their neighbor's cousin was up to. But now you have no patience for empty chatter. If a conversation doesn't have depth, meaning, or at least a little heart, you find yourself tuning out. It's not that you don't enjoy talking to people, you do, but you crave real conversations, the kind that leave you thinking long after they're over. You want to talk about life, wisdom, memories, and the lessons that come with age. You want to connect, not just fill the silence with meaningless words. Take Richard, for example. At 73, he started to notice that social gatherings left him feeling drained rather than fulfilled. He realized it was because the conversations felt repetitive, just the same small talk over and over again. So he made a change. He stopped forcing himself into situations where he had to fake interest and started seeking out people who shared his curiosity about life. The result, he felt lighter, freer, and more at peace with how he spent his time. When you reach this stage, you understand that your energy is precious. You'd rather have one deep, meaningful conversation with someone who truly sees you than a dozen shallow exchanges that leave you feeling empty. And that's a sign of growth. It means you've moved beyond surface-level connections and started valuing quality over quantity. Number 6, you value your solitude more than company. There was a time when being alone might have felt like loneliness, but now it feels like peace. You've come to understand that solitude isn't something to be feared. It's something to be cherished. When you're alone, you're not pretending to be someone you're not. You're not adjusting yourself to fit into someone else's world. You're just you in the purest, most comfortable way possible. Take Eleanor, for instance. At 74, she realized she no longer needed the constant presence of others to feel fulfilled. She had spent decades going to social events she didn't care for, sitting through conversations that didn't interest her, and making sure everyone else felt comfortable, even at the cost of her own peace. But one day she asked herself, why am I doing this? That question changed everything. She stopped filling her calendar with social obligations that drained her energy. Instead, she spent more time reading, walking, and enjoying her own thoughts. And guess what? She felt happier than she had in years. Not because she cut people out, but because she stopped forcing interactions that no longer felt right. When you start preferring your own company over being around the wrong people, it's a sign of deep self-respect. It means you no longer tolerate relationships that don't add value to your life. It means you've learned that your time, your energy is worth protecting. And once you understand that, everything changes. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 7, you've stopped seeking approval from others. There was a time when other people's opinions mattered more than they should have. You worried about what they thought of you, whether they liked you, whether you were living up to their expectations. But now that weight has been lifted. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. Look at Richard, for example. At 76, he realized something profound. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves to spend much time judging others. For decades, he had tiptoed around family, friends, and colleagues, always trying to be what they wanted him to be. He sacrificed his own preferences, his own voice, just to maintain harmony. But what did it get him? Exhaustion, frustration, and a life that felt like it didn't even belong to him. Then one day, he decided he was done. He started dressing the way he wanted, speaking his mind and making decisions based on what was best for him, not what others expected. And you know what happened? Nothing. The world didn't fall apart. People didn't suddenly turn on him. If anything, they respected him more. Because when you carry yourself with confidence, people notice. Now he's never been more at peace. He no longer second-guesses himself before speaking. He doesn't replay conversations in his head, wondering if he said the wrong thing. He's free. And that kind of freedom only comes when you stop seeking approval from people whose opinions don't determine your happiness. If you've reached a point where you no longer bend over backward to please others, you've unlocked something rare. You've stepped into the stage of life where your own voice, your own choices, and your own contentment come first. And that, my friend, is a beautiful place to be. Final thoughts. If you found yourself avoiding people more as you've grown older, you're not alone. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It often means you've gained wisdom, clarity, and a deeper sense of self. The people you choose to spend time with now aren't just those who happen to be around. They are the ones who bring value, peace, and authenticity to your life. That's a sign of growth, not isolation. At this stage, life isn't about unnecessary noise, meaningless conversations, or maintaining relationships that drain you. It's about preserving your energy for what truly matters. It's about quality over quantity, deep, fulfilling relationships over shallow interactions. And if that means being more selective, so be it. That's not loneliness, that's maturity. What about you? Do any of these reasons resonate with you? Have you noticed a shift in how you interact with people as you've grown older? Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.